Hello everyone and welcome back again to yet another problem from Geeks for Geeks. It says palindromic array. Let me maximize it a bit, and the problem goes like, given an integer array A of n elements, your task is to complete the function palin array, which will return 1 if all the elements of the array are palindrome. Otherwise, it will return 0. Let's check few examples. There's one example over here of 5 array elements. As you can see, each of the array element is palindrome, so we returned 1, whereas in this case, length is 3 and the last element is not palindrome, so the result is 0. Which makes sense. First, so I here will be showing multiple ways to solve out this problem. So first and foremost way which you can do it over here is you can iterate one by one each within an array. You can go ahead and say for integer number in array A if is palindrome. Don't worry about this. This is the function which we will be implementing soon. And we'll say if it is palindrome number, then we continue. Else we return 0. And when we went through each of the number within an array, we are sure then the control will be over here, will be here, and in this case we'll return 1. This indentation bothers me. Let me fix it. And so goes for this as well. Yep. Okay, not this. Huh. If you wanted to know what kind of indentation this was, in my opinion, probably it was a GNU style indentation. I am not very sure how it was earlier. But if you wanted to know what is GNU indentation, what is Alman, what is KNR indentations, go ahead, check out the video above and you'll get a better understanding over there. Now let's complete the rest of our part, which is palindrome. So the entire logic would be residing within palindrome. Obviously, it would be a Boolean return type and name stating palindrome, which will take an integer number. I'll just go ahead and use number. The obvious way what you define palindrome is the first element and last element should be equal, so as the inner elements as well, which means it can be read from forward and backward as same, which means I can take a number which will say forward read and I'll convert it within a string. So this can be easily done by appending to a string itself. And string backward is nothing but backward read is nothing but the backward reading for the forward read. So I'll go ahead, use string builder. Obviously I need to create an object, so go ahead, use new string builder, feed it with forward read. It will take forward read and I will reverse this. And ultimately, after reversing, I'll convert it to string. Just a little formatting so that our code looks clean and neat. And yeah, now what I'm going to say is I will return if true if forward read equals backward read. Obviously, if this is true, then we can say it is palindrome, or if it is false, then we can go ahead and say it is not a palindrome and this method will return false. Upon coming over here, we see encounter false and we return 0. So in such a way it will work. Let's run this method and check whether this works or not. It seems it is having few problem within this solution. It says non-static method. Okay, let's use then static Java specific thing. I'm not very sure why they use static all over the places. They can directly go ahead and create an object. Not sure. Also, there was one read, cannot find a symbol, forward read. Okay, the spelling has been mistaken. It is backward read and here it is backward. Also, a beginner good advice. So you can use over here final, and this will be a good practice to follow. And speaking of good practice, you can condense this algorithm and check if it is not palindrome, then we return 0. And but if it is palindrome, then we go ahead and check out the relevant. A good practice. So as you can see, uh, all of the test cases are passed. This was one method. One might argue that, hey there, I'm not using string. I wanted to go ahead and use strictly integer. In such case, we will go ahead and change the types. Instead of string, we'll say int. And remember, if it is int, so we need to get forward and reverse, forward and backward read as well. So I'll reverse number and I'll reverse this number as number. And I'll go ahead int reverse number. I'll go ahead int number. Yeah, you can go and use string builder here as well, and you can reverse the number and then pass it to int. But that would be a kind of cheating, and that's not what we are going to do over here. So we'll change to new number. So I'll say reverse is equal to 0, which is initially, and while number is not equal to or number is greater than 0. So while we see number is greater than 0, we will mathematically make reverse variable such a way that in the end it will look alike like it is a reverse number. So what we'll do, we will take the last element from number, last element which is can be get by number modulo 10. Now we have a last number. We need to take this last number to front while considering the reverse. So now we are considering the reverse, then we need to take this, okay, this last to front. How we are going to do this? So to do this, we can just go ahead and use this reverse is equal to, now we are updating the reverse to be specific, update reverse, reverse, reverse is equal to reverse into 10 plus last. This solution works because we take the last number and initially if it is 0, we go ahead and take the last as the current value of reverse. Let's suppose the number is 10. Let me write down here number is equal to 10 or number is equal to 13. So initially the last would be 3 and here the reverse would be 0 into 10, which is 0 plus 3, as we found out the last is 3. Next we'll go ahead and we will do number divide is equal to 10. By this we are getting rid of last number. So doing this, now our new number becomes 13 divided by 10, and since it is an integer division, we are left with 1. So now our number is 1 and we go ahead till within the loop number is greater than 1, sorry, number is greater than 0, that is true, And this time we got last to be 1 as 1 modulo 10, and here we got reverse is equal to 3 into 10 plus the last which we found over here, which is nothing but 1, and we got 31, which is reverse of this number. Obviously you can say get over here and you can say 1 divided by 10 is equal to 0. 0 comes over here, loop fails, and when loop fails we return the reverse number. In such a way we reverse the number which is still within the integer form, and we got it back as a backward read, and then we go ahead and we check directly that is forward read equals to backward read, and if it is true then we go ahead to next number, and if it is false we return 0. Let's compile this. It seems we also need to make it static, so static int. Let's recheck this. Yes, for the input test cases, and let's check for other test cases as well. So it gets passed with other test cases as well. So this was the second method. So you can, instead of having the complicated logic over here, you can also do one simple trick which we have discussed earlier as well, which is nothing but you convert this to string builder and take number within it and reverse this number and get it as to string. Obviously it will give you a string variable or a string output, so you can, if you want, you can store it by checking doing string output, but you wanted to return an integer, isn't that right? So for that you can go ahead return integer dot parseInt, and then you can say string op. This sure condenses our entire logic within 2 lines, and we can check this. How does this go? It seems encountered one variable error string op, and we need to create a new object for that. So it seems number is not expected, instead string builder accepts string, so converted that to string and it works now. Let's check for other test cases, and it surely passes the rest of test cases. Obviously this is a quite simplistic manner of this one, so here are 3 ways how you can deal with this problem.